The number 3 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes started off their match against number 6 ranked Nebraska exactly how they would want, with a win by Thomas Gilman. Next up was Corey Clark, who was upset by Nebraska's Eric Montoya. After his win, Montoya made a questionable cutthroat gesture to the crowd. Unfortunately for Nebraska, the gesture riled up Carver and the Iowa bench. The Hawkeyes never looked back. At 12-2, the Hawkeyes will finish out the season with the national duels and then on to the Big Ten tournament. Reporting from Carver Hawkeye Arena, this has been Collin Murphy, Daily Iowan TV Sports. With the offense not getting the job done on Saturday, the defense was forced to be on the field for long drives. Led by Desmond King and Josie Jewell, they were able to go blow for blow with the top-ranked Badgers. A thrilling upset for the Hawkeyes over the nationally ranked Purdue Boilermakers Friday night at Carver Hawkeye Arena. But head coach Bon Szymanski, despite loving his team's performance, was quick to turn the page to the next team, the Indiana Hoosiers. Needless to say, his team was ready for the challenge. The Iowa women's basketball team hosted the first part of the Cy-Hawk series this week, welcoming an Iowa State into Carver Hawkeye Arena Wednesday night. The Hawkeyes' offense started off slow, but did not take long to get into a groove. They can go 5 deep, and they are currently 5th in the Big Ten in kills per set average. I'm talking about the outside hitters for the Iowa Hawkeyes volleyball team. Led by senior Lauren Brobst, this aspect of the offense has head coach Bon Szymanski digging his front line in the grueling Big Ten.
Thanks, Noah. Yeah, Iowa, didn't really compete with the top programs in the country in terms of top talent, but still came away with some top recruits. So yesterday was National Signing Day for aspiring college football players. The usual suspects led the nation, who had the best classes. Alabama, of course, claimed the top spot, followed by Ohio State, Georgia, Florida State, and USC to round out the top 5. Iowa, however, did not crack the top 40, according to ESPN's recruiting class rankings. Follow the Hawkeyes, all that's per usual. The Hawkeyes did add some top receivers, though, which after some transfers and Jay Shield ending his collegiate career due to injuries, they will be very helpful for the Hawks next season. Along with adding key receivers, the offense will add 2 new quarterbacks, while the defense was able to land one of the top defensive linemen in the country, A.J. Epineza. Mary Kate Herron has more from Signing Day from Kinnick Stadium. Every year, Canoe Battleship is hosted the weekend before finals for any daring enough to play. And honestly, I don't know if I would be daring enough to play. Don't really like being in cold water that much, so.
Well, Collin, like Nikki said, it was a very disappointing loss. They couldn't get anything going on either side of the ball.
Yeah, after the first college football playoff rankings, Penn State was number 12 and Iowa was not ranked, and I think Saturday just really showed why that was kind of the case.
Saturday night in Iowa City, the number 3 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes welcomed in-state rival Iowa State into Carver Hawkeye Arena. Needless to say, the start of the match did not go as well as head coach Tom Brands had planned it would go.
That was a very close duel, even though the score was lopsided. And there's some tough situations that we did not wrestle through, and that is a concern.
The Hawkeyes started the meet dropping 2 of the first 3 matches. The only Hawkeye win in those 3 came in dominating fashion by All-American Thomas Gilman by a count of 19-4.
These guys come here and they say they want to wrestle, but do they want to wrestle? They go out there and they kind of sit on their butt and they stall and they don't want to come back to the center. So I'm getting fired up now. These guys want to wrestle, but do they want to wrestle? I don't know. They want to wrestle kind of their match and where they're comfortable. I take them to where they're uncomfortable. I take them to deep water.
Down 5-3 in the meet to Iowa State, the Hawkeyes took complete control, winning the next 6 matches until losing at 197 pounds. Of the 7 Hawkeye victories, only 3 came by more than 3 points, but Iowa defeats Iowa State by a score of 26-9, only losing 3 matches to the Cyclones.
I'm not going to call any names out, but you know who they are. And we have to do a better job of that growing up right now, because, this is not about beating Iowa State. This is about putting a team on the mat that's worthy.
So, yeah, there's a lot to prove them, but it's just another meet, and we're going to do our part, just like Gilman said. And we did. We went out and we took care of our business.
I don't think about picking up anyone's slack necessarily. I do what I need to do. I do my part, and it's up to those other guys to do their part. Whether Clark and Stoll are in there or not, we still got to compete and we still got to win.
Despite a hard-fought win, Brands believes that his team needs to be more aggressive to have success going forward. Reporting from Carver Hawkeye Arena, this has been Collin Murphy, Daily Iowan TV Sports. With 1 quarter gone in Saturday night's game against the Michigan Wolverines, the Iowa offense did not look up to the task of upsetting the number 3 team in the country. Early in the second quarter, in a matchup of two physical teams, the Hawkeyes had nothing to show for their effort except for a missed field goal. Struggling against the top-ranked Wolverine defense, the Iowa offense needed a spark. They quickly found that in running back Akram Wadley. Driving late in the second quarter, Wadley came through for the Hawkeyes with a 27-yard catch and run to put them in field goal range. The Hawkeyes were able to move the ball down to the 3-yard line, where quarterback C.J. Beathard found a shifty running back on a 4th and goal for Iowa's lone touchdown of the game.
Yeah, we got that momentum. We got the fans into it, and our fans were great. And once we got that, we just needed to make it a sticky game.
He's a great back, really elusive. He turns 3-yard runs into big plays, especially in tight spaces, which is crazy.
Yeah, and he came up with a lot of big plays, and Akram's a slippery guy. He's got good feel.
Wadley continued to shift through the Michigan defense in the second half, with multiple plays of 10-plus yards to help keep the Hawkeyes close to the Wolverines. Down 2 late in the game, Wadley went for another 10-yard catch and run to help put the Hawkeyes in field goal range. Wadley's gain was one of a couple key plays on the final drive of the game that helped set up the game-winning field goal for the Hawkeyes. With 3 seconds left in the game, freshman walk-on Keith Duncan lined up his kick, and the rest is history. Biggest upset in Kinnick Stadium since 1985 complete.
To his credit, just the way he practices, the way he's bounced back, and just keeps on going. And I guess you can call that a pressure moment right there. They take the time out, all that stuff. But his mindset was right, and did a great job there. The electricity in Kinnick that day in '85 was a late kickoff. It was special, just like tonight. So, and both teams, both years, '85 and this one, both teams really competed tooth and nail.
Shifting through the Michigan defense, Wadley piled up over 150 yards of total offense to go along with his lone receiving touchdown, helping the Iowa offense pull off this massive upset. Reporting from Kinnick Stadium, this has been Collin Murphy, Daily Iowan TV Sports.